this layout a little bit different. I went ahead and put the numbers in the areas in the order that you're going to go. The suggestion taken from Joni. Thank you, Joni. The machine's running a little bit slower today. I forgot to reset the speed on it. As you can see here, there's number 1. This is going to be your first area you do. Number 2, number 3, and then we're going to jump down here to number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8. This one we're going to jump around as where the other ones, I think we laid down right on top of the previous made ones. This one's going to jump around a little bit. So area number 1. You're going to tape or pin your fabric over the area, making sure it covers the whole area. I'm not going to use tape or pins because it takes too long for the video, but you will definitely want to do that. You also want to iron your fabrics before you start too. I didn't do mine. Okay, and you can see area 1. Now we're not going to cut down here. We need to keep this edge here if you're making quilt blocks, and if you're making regular lined blocks, you don't want to cut this until the end. So we're just going to cut around this area right here. And the good thing about these blocks with this technique, you don't have to get perfectly close to these tack down stitches. Whereas regular applique, you really need to get as close as you can to those stitches, but since this is flip and fold and it's going to be underneath, you don't need to be so precise. Okay, there's number 1. Number 2 area. You're going to take your fabric, lay it face down over this line. You're going to take your ruler. I have mine set at 1/2 inch. That gives you plenty of room. Lay it on the edge. This is the test flip to make sure it's going to cover the area that you're going to be working on next. Flip it, and I have a big enough piece of fabric I don't have to worry about it too much. Tape or pin it so it's lined up. Run the next color, and this will make your seam. Out of the machine, flip it, and this is where you use your clover iron or the tip of an iron. Just make sure you don't hit the iron on your hoop. And again, I'm not going to do that because of the video. It would take too long. So finger press it, tape it or pin it. I think this one I will put a pin in it. Not cooperating. Make sure when you pin it, keep it out of the line of where it's going to be stitching. We don't need any broken machines or broken needles. Run the next color. And this tacks down the fabric. Remove it from your machine. Don't cut this edge. Don't cut this edge. That's the outside of the square. You don't want to cut that edge. You just want to cut this edge and this edge. Easiest way to do this is to lay it on a flat surface. Kind of fold your fabric back where you're going to cut it. That'll give you a nice clean edge. And really close to the stitches. Just trimming that up a little bit there. You can see we left that edge and left this edge. Area number 3. Now this one is a strange angled one, so you need to make sure that you test flip this one. If I would have my fabric piece way down here, if I had it way down here and I tried to test flip this, it's not going to cover area 3. You can see this part is open. This one you want to move up this way. Test flip it. And now the whole area of number 3 is going to be covered. So don't move the fabric. Tape it, pin it. Run the next color. Flip it up, press it, tape or pin, run the next color. Remove it. Don't cut this edge outside of the block. You just want to cut this around the heart, this up, and this down. There, and then I'm just going to cut it outwards. There's piece 3. Piece 4, we're going to jump down here. Going to lay it along this edge here, the edge of number 1. And maybe I'll go with a piece that I had before. Face down over the previous fabric along that edge. Test flip it 1/2 inch. Make sure it covers area. Looks good. Run the next color for the seam. Flip it, press it, tape or pin, Run the next color.
Remove it. Leave this edge alone. Leave this edge alone. We're just going to cut this and this. And then cut outwards. So, and I don't think my piece was big enough to do the other one. So we're gonna have a funky block. Let's see. There's a pink one. We'll see if this one works. Okay, area number 5. And this one is gonna be different. This one's gonna add a seam line here. It's gonna come around the block, and then it's gonna add a seam line there. This is why I'm making the video, because this one's a little bit different. Same concept, just slightly different. Line up your edge along both of those. Test flip it. Looks good. Slide it down just slightly. Run the next color. Move it, fold it up, press it, tape it, pin it, you'll want to pin it better than I am. You'll probably want a couple pins in here. Run the next color.